a family bound, our hearts together. We laugh, we cry, through thick and thin. In every challenge, we begin again. Truth Seekers 88, our home filled with love and light, sharing dreams in day and night. On the truth train we ride as one, helping each other, everyone. We talk of the truths of our ancient lands. Together we stand, hand in hand. In our disagreements, we find a way to grow, to learn each passing day. Truth Seekers 88, our home filled with love and light, sharing dreams in day and night. On the truth train we ride as one, helping each other, everyone. In every thought and every word, voices strong, our truths are heard. With open hearts, we stand as friends, a bond that never ends. Expressing thoughts, we find our peace. In unity, our spirits release. Helping others with all we know. In the light of truth we grow. Truth Seekers 88, our home filled with love and light, sharing dreams in day and night. On the truth train we ride as one, helping each other, everyone.
Hey, welcome. We are absolutely feeling a ton better today. Got up some sleep this afternoon that I don't normally get, so catching up on some sleep. Starting to feel a lot better. So grateful to be here with everybody tonight as everybody's jumping on. We are absolutely excited about the things that we've learned recently, as they don't quite fall into the norm. And before the shows got started tonight, Sheepdog and I were talking about somebody's getting ready to go to Mars. Either it's them and the crazy fuckers they brought with them, or us, right? But somebody's getting ready to go to Mars.
Yep.
One-way ticket.
Yeah, one way.
But it's one of the greatest times to actually be alive, folks. To be able to have a discernment that has been challenged in more ways than one, to be able to share it with others and others that don't necessarily agree with everything that you say, but can be on the same page with everything that is shared. A lot of great love and light is born from that, and it's groups like ours that are helping march groups of society forward, both individually and into the united consciousness. With that being said, I just want to say hello to the sheepdogs and welcome y'all. the sheepdogs, while they were looking out to see how much tickets to Mars cost last night, went through this weird storm. Um, I'll let them tell you a little more about that. But here we are. Welcome, you guys. Glad to have you with us tonight.
Glad to
Yeah.
have you here. You sound a lot better too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a crazy storm last night. We woke up. It woke us up like, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning, and it sounded like a tornado. It was so loud, and it was raining, but not hard, and there was crazy like lightning everywhere. It looked like a lightning show. And sheepdog went outside, and there was a lightning bolt that went across, not from the up and to down. It was going across like a laser. It was
Yeah.
crazy, and yeah. Go ahead, you tell
No,
them.
no,
Well,
I
you're
thought
the one that saw it.
I was looking for Elon to come down in the damn vehicle, the skyship, and catch Mars.
it, it was crazy though, but it didn't rain that hard. It was weird. It was like it rained, but not that. It didn't hardly rain at all. It was really strange, and then it just stopped.
Wow.
It was really, really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, needless to say, we didn't get a visitation.
Right.
Right. Right.
Advance warning, Tesla logo incoming.
Yeah, we're looking to that flight back to reality.
Right.
Because this can't be it. This can't be it.
Right.
I'm just. It's a beautiful day, though. Beautiful day, birds chirping.
Yeah, it was. It was hot though.
Clear
Pretty
blue
hot.
sky. Oh, yeah, tomorrow's going to be about 90 degrees. You know,
Right. I know.
I can take my sweater off now.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hot.
Not hotter than those tickets to Mars.
Right.
Right. But we're glad to be here.
So glad to have everybody here with us tonight. Glad to have everybody that's jumping on too. It is one of the most exciting times, even though the challenges that we face, to see the changes in groups of people and individuals, including ourselves. And you know, why not? You know, we still have questions that need to be answered, right? Like this one right here. You know, what did this really mean? You know, it definitely wasn't just a guy lost on an island that became friends with a volleyball.
That's
Right.
Wilson.
That's right.
Right. Wilson.
So, we got a few questions that still need to be answered, right? But, you can see the changing of the times, right? More people living in the present. More people speaking up about the dogma, which is the propaganda, basically, both biblically and politically, right? Which they've mixed it all together. So those people who haven't, practiced their skill set and discernment, they're beating themselves in the head, wondering who's who and who's good and who's bad, instead of just knowing that individually we're all good at heart. We have both bad and good in each and every one of us, and our reliance is for the good to ring true, because it's be given the biggest opportunity to now more than ever. Joe is feeling better too. That's good to hear. Absolutely. I got a text from Joe. I need to call him. So, I just kind of scrolled through Facebook this afternoon when I woke up from a good, 5-hour nap. I mean, damn, did I say 5 hours? Yeah, it was 5 hours.
Shit,
5 hour nap.
that's a coma.
Right. um, that's the first time I've slept 5 hours for 5 hours straight in about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh yeah,
That shit sucks.
yeah it does. But I just like to scroll through and see where everybody's at. Because you have a fresh perspective. Your mind is kind of clear. You've had a good little rest. I felt energized. I felt very alive, a lot more alive than I had been feeling. Right, and the bronchitis and all the stuff that came along with it over the last 2 weeks is starting to wash out. Right, and we're getting back. And I won't say normal because it was a period of growth and purge too. We talked about that kind of on the show about a week ago. That a purge is just as much a part of it as anything else. And a lot of us are going through different types of purges. And for me, this one, I have shared with many people. Everybody's been worried, and because of the last couple of instances, this time I avoided the hospital. Um, and was able to naturally take it on. Okay, even though my immune system is the way it um, is to naturally take it on and be able to share it with everybody as much as I could throughout the journey. I haven't been able to answer any phone calls. I just don't. I didn't have it. But I'm gonna start building on that stamina now after catching back up with some sleep. But um, I'm just grateful to be able to sit here and share and scroll through and see how much others were taking part in the change. People are stepping up and speaking up, and people that we normally wouldn't see doing so. Absolutely, Donna. Right on, right on. Well, God created us. God created us both in the metaphysical and the spiritual realm to be able to heal ourselves. And that was a good topic of discussion towards the end of the show last night before I jumped off. And then Mr. Sheepdog and Sheepdog added a great deal of content last night to the different chats about the med beds. And hopefully they're prepared to talk a little bit about that tonight. That's kind of what I want to get into. I haven't had a chance to go and review all of the content that they've shared myself, but I know the storyline. Okay. Back about almost 4 years ago, I got sent to John Baxter's facility in Florida. He did not have a med bed yet, but he had all the equipment that was going into his creation of a med bed, which he bought through the rights to do through a patent, a Tesla patent. Okay. The Tesla patent was under siege and released during the time for which I was in his facility in Florida. Learned a lot about the CBD oil and the different constructs and detoxification usage with some of it and other oils. I learned a lot about the massage chairs, the not infrared light, but the what's the name of that? Mr. Sheepdog? Help me out here. The red light wand.
Yeah, the red light therapy.
Yeah, the red light therapy.
Yeah.
Learned a lot about that. That stuff really works great. Learned a lot about the frequency in your body's different um, frequencies throughout every atom and every layer, or I want to say probably better way to put it was to understand that each atom has its own travel path within your body. When they say you got a millions of miles of veins and stuff, you literally got a millions of miles of veins and stuff, right? Roadmap ain't got shit on your vascular system, right? And so, I learned a lot about the med bed through that process, never having been getting in one. All right. Through the journey, we also learned from John Baxter that the military didn't necessarily have replicated med beds like we once thought, because they were in fact calling him and asking him to provide his version of the med bed for their use in the Air Force and Navy. All right, and so that was a telltale sign. And then we even furthered the conversation even more last night with the Earth Alliance exposure, right? And the I won't say off world, but off land, right? Military that's yet been fully exposed, but we knew existed, and it's the military we've been looking at to be involved in the coming change as well, and it's starting to show up more and more. So we know now that there are med beds. You need to know what you're doing with making decisions on what med beds you're going to use, right? And quit listening to the propaganda that's out there about them. A lot of the early med beds that were publicized were actual euthanasia pieces. All right, they euthanize people more than they help people heal, and it is, that's not to put fear in people. That's just to let you know that there's good and bad in everything, right? And while we did have a group of professionals with big pharma that would rather see us dead in the name of profit, and some of that still exists. We are a lot more in control of that situation now than we have ever been before. Even though we don't have the justice we need just yet, we still can recognize the strength. Excuse me. We can still recognize the strength that we have in this journey that we have gathered both individually and then collectively in this journey to be a big voice in rectifying that situation for ourselves. And oh, y'all got to see this one. This is good right here.
What? Was he dust cropping? What was that? Can you enlarge the screen? Did you get a volume? Damn. That was
Oh my gosh.
She filed for divorce the next day.
Right.
He tried to blame it on the dog, but the dog wasn't in the room.
Right.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's cropping right there.
All of a sudden I have baby powder taste in my mouth.
Baby powder.
Yeah, the astronaut conversation is really wild. Me and fish are alike. We both get into trouble when we open our mouths, right?
She's got that Aquanet hair.
Right.
There's a reason why they do that. Why they ask she keeps her hair undone and out. It's for the part of the psychological manipulation.
Yeah, an optics.
Yeah.
Right.
To try to represent anti-gravity, like they're in like they're
Right.
Like there's no gravity, so they puff the hair out.
that's, that's that old Dale Earnhardt colors right there, Wrangler.
Yes, sir.
Seen it right there, or Ukraine? I don't know.
Oh no, he didn't.
I'll go with Earnhardt.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Don't put that on a race car, man. Oh. So yeah, I kind of scrolled through this afternoon, just checking things out. Nadine's sharing our show tonight. Thank you, Nadine. Wow. Sweet. And I really saw quite a bit about the med bed conversation. That Mr. Sheep and the information that the sheepdog shared last night. And shared with me throughout the front part of today. There's still people wanting to tell you that there's Nasara and Jasara. There's no such thing, folks. That's how you tell the difference. There's no such thing as Jasara. It's all Nasara, and that's it. Banks don't adopt it, okay? Banks, that has nothing to do with the banks adopting it. It is, in fact, a law of the incoming administration, not administration, but republic, okay? And it is biblical, okay? It's biblical in the spiritual sense. We have been, many resets we have supposed to have had have been skipped over by whatever color of de facto creepy, corrupt thought you want to put in there. Okay, you can just about fill in the blank with anything and be close to what happened, right? I mean, we've had psyops, huge amounts of psyops portrayed, like Sandy Hook, for example, the ones that involve the school kids. It's very emotional for a lot of us. When you think that a school got shot up, and really to come to find out it was nothing more than a government setup in a military psyop. Never let a good crisis go to waste, right? Government thought process, right?
Yeah, they love those school shootings, especially when they're doing all those. Remember, they were doing all those drills at the beginning of the school year. I mean, they were having all those mass, quote unquote, mass shootings during the beginning of the school year, left and right. And we pointed out the fact that they were all drills.
Yep.
And like you said, you never let a good crisis go to waste. And they used the media along with law enforcement and the FBI to go in there and pull that shit off. And then and then it's silent. Like everybody said, you know what? It's the end of the school year. Forget it. We'll just wait till the beginning of next school year.
Right on.
See.
Yep.
It does.
And
same thing with the fires. They're controlled burns, and they're trying to use the media and the media never lets a good crisis go to waste. They'll push that shit and have everybody scared and evacuate from their houses on a controlled burn. They did that here recently in Texas on 60 acres, just right up the road from me. The media was saying that everybody needed to evacuate, shit like that. I went and looked at it on one of the, even the media showed it. They showed the document and it said controlled burn. The guy had to schedule it with the fire department and shit like that, locally to have.
Yeah, the landowner. Yep.
And then the media said that it spread to other properties, but which it may have, because he picked the day to burn on when it was windy as shit.
Right.
We got plenty of rain, so it wasn't like that we're in a drought or anything.
Now these ones like here in Western North Carolina, I don't know how much of this one is real, but the one in Florida, Sheepdog's got CCTV camera footage of nothing happening like it's being portrayed in the news there.
Yeah, we went to the live cam when it was reported, and they're just hanging out at the beach in Florida Keys.
Yeah. Right.
Taking pictures at the southernmost point thing.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
they thought that was. They showed a beetle bug on fire.
Oh yeah.
How come that's not labeled terrorist attack?
Right.
That is a Nazi vehicle made by Nazi Germany.
It's a drone. That's
Maybe
right.
that's what we're seeing here, man. Trump needs to look into this.
Trump needs to look into it.
It's not a Tesla. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right. It's not Elon Musk balancing his fork and spoon at the dinner table.
Right.
That's a true story. He really was trying to. He did pretty good job.
Right? Yeah, I've been looking for the clip.
Yeah, see, I think I got it. I mean, I didn't show it because it was kind of
Tasha's goofy.
Yeah, Tasha's son.
Yeah.
Tasha's son. We love Tasha, y'all. And our condolences and love are with Tasha. She's going through a loss of a child.
Yeah.
Yes, we love you, Tasha.
We love you, darling. Such a brave soul to share it with everybody on social media too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard one to deal with. It's hard for me to even comment on because I wouldn't know what it's like as a mother losing a child, you know. But
yeah, that's a tough one. And even though she's going through it, she's on with us tonight as well. We love you, darling. So, I like to scroll through and reflect on the periods of time where we've gone through good and bad, right? I bet you are in the Twilight Zone, Tasha. I know, sister. We got you, though. We got a rope on you. We're not letting go.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
So, in my reflection this afternoon, I did a lot of catching up on the med bed conversation. Like I was telling you earlier, when I went to John Baxter's facility, he didn't have one, but I learned about all the different pieces that went into the med bed when he finally did have one. And then Mrs. Sheepdog shared last night one of the videos, which pretty much explained it the way it got explained to me through John and the people at his facility when I was down there. And then come to find out that more than 20 people in our community have been to his facility since he has gotten the med beds. And I love mule and tea, Lori. I've been drinking up on some mule and tea quite a bit. And Miss Sheepdog, I just sent you my address.
Okay, cool. I'll get that.
High sock.
High sock. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This shit show needs to end. The best way for it to end is for us to walk out the damn theater. Just make up our mind and leave it.
That's right.
That gives you the power that you need to have back, and it allows you to focus on the things that you want to be focused on versus what they've been peddling this whole time, right?
Yeah. We can start building right now. We don't have to wait for an invite or somebody to tell us. We are exactly.
That's right.
There's two paths. One's going to take you to artificial, and the other one's going to be authentic. And in other words, you're going to have AI makes everything for you. It's going to be just like going to Walmart and buying that made in China shit, printed up real fast. Boom, boom, boom. It's going to be cheap. But the authentic things are going to come from us, right?
Right.
From what we make with our own hands, right?
Creativity and with love and your passion.
And those are two economies. Yep. You're going to have their economy, and then it's going to be ours with each other. because we don't have to contract with them. We don't have to do commerce with them. We can do it with each other. We got the control, we got the power, and we got the money, and the smarts, and the talent, and God on our side.
Yep.
We don't have that antichrist, artificial intelligence bullshit. We are authentic. He made us perfect in his image. So we don't need anything outside of ourselves to build on something that we're already capable of doing on our own.
And that's another good piece of conversation that a lot of people are realizing too, is to understand that the metaphysical side of us came from the mother, right? And the spiritual side, life part, came from the father, right? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
And it's that Tesla 369, that balance. Red and blue make purple, and it's coming sooner, and climbing Jacob's ladder. All of that stuff is a big part of this journey. Some people want to put a new age twist on it. That's fine. Everybody's going to have their own thought processes and their own wheel, right? And more and more of us are coming together, even if it doesn't all match up for each and every one of us exactly the same. More and more of us are coming together and understanding, hey, there are very real aspects on the day-to-day that we need to pay attention to. But the biggest thing is for us to walk out of the theater and start moving forward. And that's kind of how I wanted to start the show tonight, was just to make people aware that even though it doesn't feel like it all the time, we are going through some very drastic changes. We are going through some very loving and caring changes in this world. And we are starting to see at a greater ripple effect that love is the currency for which we're going to do all of this. All right. It's the exact currency and frequency for which all of this is going to be accomplished. So make up your mind, if you hadn't tonight, to walk out of the theater. If you so choose to, just get up and walk out. I mean, mentally close your eyes and picture it. Meditate on leaving the political drama theater and all its cantankerous bullshit with it. That doesn't mean we keep our mouth shut. By no means. The thumbnail for tonight's show was "I do not consent," right? And one of the very first things we need to not consent on is the Smith-Month Act not being repealed. All right.
A Patriot Act.
A Patriot Act, exactly.
Right.
That's why we're all getting body cavity searches at the airport, and that's why law enforcement isn't abiding by the Constitution or protecting anybody's constitutional rights, because we're under the Patriot Act, folks.
Yep.
The Patriot Act is opposite of patriotic. Anything smart cities, all that, it's actually dumb cities. Patriot Act is not patriotic. It's the opposite of that. That's why they're tyrannical. You see a lot of tyrants because everybody's a suspect. We're the enemy. Everybody's suspicious. Everything's suspicious, and that's the way they're trained. They don't. The only right that they respect is or know is you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will. That's the only thing they could recite. Any other constitutional right, they have no clue. They do, but they're not going to. The Patriot Act is what keeps their operating in the way they are right now, and that's been going on for the last 25 years, 20 years, something like that. So most of your law enforcement, even the highest ranking people in there, have been under the Patriot Act since they got in. So that's why across the board, from top to bottom, their training sucks.
Yep.
They don't protect and serve, but themselves and the corporation and their pensions. That's it. And
yeah. Well, just learning the piece that we learned last night about the airships and the whole military there, the Earth Alliance military, sheepdog, this military that we have focused on so much of our lives has never been the one we were really looking for, right? We just been made to believe it was.
Yep.
And that's not against any vet, folks. I will never, ever disrespect the service that was so humbly given through sacrifice of any vet. Y'all, we are so grateful for the people that stepped up to the plate, and protected what we thought was our freedoms at the time, right? Only to get to the point where we are now and to know that we still support you, we still love you, and we're still grateful.
Yeah.
And it'll never be forgotten.
Well, just like law enforcement, not all veterans are good. There's veterans that come home and then they take people's rights away. And then there's veterans that come home and they get their rights taken away by those same veterans.
That's right.
That's where we're at, folks. You got to look at you tell the tree by its fruit. Okay, do that. You're better off that way instead of blindly backing anything or anybody or any group as a whole.
Absolutely.
But as far as their service is concerned, that's a whole nother story. But when they come home, that's what I look at.
Absolutely. That's a good question too. Someone asked if the Earth Alliance was all good. They don't have a choice to be but all good. It is a part of the treaty or treaties for this time period of the 26,000 years. I mean, if you listen to Sabrina Wallace, there's a group of these MIT DOD military people that want to continue on with the whole insane technocracy. And they will, okay, but not to the effect that they'll get much of the population involved like they once were. But, we don't have to be a part of that. We do not need them to survive. We were given the tools upon creation to survive any of this stuff that's going on. Okay, just in different ways and different shapes and different forms. As we're all created equally, but we're also individuals, right? With that being said, I kind of love y'all and want to turn it over to the sheepdogs now. But that's how I wanted to start out the show tonight. Yeah, she has scary. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, like Kennedy said, these problems were created by men, therefore they can be fixed by men.
That's exactly right.
I thought he said government was going to fix it.
No, men.
Men.
No,
well,
no.
man.
I don't want that responsibility.
Not men, man. That's all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, sheepdog, I'm like you. Every now and then I got to get a diaper change, right?
Right. You got them Bidens on, don't you? You should be good for a whole 4 years at least.
Right. Right.
Gosh.
Goodness gracious.
Miss Sheepdog, if you can send me that with your... I'm sitting here trying to find it. And,
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
I'm going to go ahead and go on to some other things. So we're in some kind of Tesla psyop. People are noticing, even with Alex Jones, he's mentioned Tesla about 125, 150 times in 4 hours on his shows. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to understand what's taking place psychologically, right? In this psyops. So I'm going to play this little clip here, and we're going to get into this awesome song. Well, maybe I should do there's a new song out about Tesla and his trucks. We'll get to that in a little bit. Well, you know what? Let me do it now. Let's do it now. Let's go here first so you can see the level that we're at. Okay. Mike, I don't need you laughing either. It's going to be kind of cringy, but we're going to make it through this. Okay. It's only 3 minutes. Don't throw tomatoes at me.
All right.
I didn't write this song.
He gave us cars that drive so.
This song is in honor of Elon Queen Alonia. Or Mars Alonia.
Hey, I see she's got the bougie father shirt on, right, with Elon's face.
The Doji
Right.
something. We'll see that here in a minute.
Yeah,
And on the
the
back it
Doge.
says, I like it doggy style, Doji style.
Oh my God!
It's gross. Oh, the dog fodder.
Gave us cars that drive so fast, made rockets built to blast. Oh, thank you, Elon Musk. He took over Twitter's reign. He saved free speech for all, eliminating woke pain. SpaceX flies, Tesla self-drive, Starlink beams with laser dreams. He's got a master plan for our lives. Let's occupy Mars. Let's occupy Mars.
Get them some tickets, please.
And making kids to keep mankind on.
I had to pause it because I don't understand this part. And making kids to keep mankind alive. Is he making kids?
Life. Neuralink
We're celebrating Neuralink now, folks. The brain implant.
is on the way. Boring tunnels save the day. Oh, thank you, Elon Musk. Fighting fights for freedom's sake. Politics, he's not afraid. He won't just sit and watch. SpaceX flies, Tesla self-drive, Starlink beams with laser dreams. He's got a master plan for our lives. One more kid, one more brand, launching rockets with just one hand. Optimus, Cybercat, what can this man do? It's taxes, fraud, some solid memes. Corruption won't stay. And Doge saving USA. So here's to you, our tech tycoon, saving Earth and
Sorry, I had to point out the chemtrail above her head as she's singing up here, the big X. Sorry. Sorry, I got an eye for it.
tycoon, saving Earth and Mars real soon. We thank you, Elon Musk. One more kid, one more brand, launching rockets with just one hand. Optimus, Cybercat.
Did y'all see the hand gestures? I have to stop it, folks. You see it? The horns?
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
robot does it too.
And he says,
You see it? Real quick,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Head in there. Real quick. There it is. See that?
what
you
does he mean by one more kid, one more brand? That sounds weird.
There's a lot of shit that's really kind of weird with this. Somebody posted this on Twitter or X, and they said, "Man, this is just too much." And I watched it. I'm like,
Yeah, it is.
but you see it right here. You're celebrating the Antichrist. Some people say that just means I love you. Okay, whatever. Just like that Nazi salute he did that says, "This is from my heart."
My
Right.
heart goes out to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my heart goes out to you. Yeah. There's the horns again. Oh, that's I love you.
Oh, thank you, Elon Musk.
There's their savior. So, like I said, there's
Yeah.
going to be a split where these people go into this dystopia and the timeline splits, and the people that connect back to Earth and don't turn their backs on what God created for us, to where the abundance really is, and the peace and the serenity in nature with the birds, it's launching rockets with just one hand. All right. So he's digging tunnels. He's launching rockets. He's on X. He's making Teslas. That. What are the other? Oh, and he's Doge. He's uncovering all the fraud, which makes him the hero. Yet he hasn't shown any proof of any of that said fraud.
Any charges filed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you see how they're painting him as a superhero already. No proof of anything. Nothing's changed.
As the savior.
It's the biggest marketing campaign in American history I've ever seen. It is. I mean, he paid $250 million to be able to do this because he had to donate that much, which is illegal, I believe. I think Dinesh D'Souza went to jail for going over $10,000. Elon donated $250 million, and he's walking free. So it's like, it's whenever they decide to enforce the law or not enforce the law, it depends on who you are and how much you donate. Y'all remember Dinesh D'Souza getting locked up for like a little over 10,000 donation?
Yep. He went just a little bit over. Yep.
Yeah. So these guys, if you look at the during Trump's inauguration or whatever the hell it was under George Washington, where he had all of the Mark Zuckerberg and Bezos and all them, they all donated $1 million. That's illegal. Another thing which I don't want to go kind of off topic. A lot of things were happening outside of the law especially during the rallies. Law enforcement isn't supposed to be there in uniform, either at a Democrat rally or at a Republican rally. It's a violation of the Hatch Act.
Yeah, the Hatch Act. Yep.
So both sides have been set up. They all endorsed and publicly used their positions, and they're supposed to be unbiased. Because what if they go up to a scene and they don't like the fact that the person voted for, let's say, Biden or Harris, and the cop treats them differently, right? You're supposed to be not take sides of either Republican or
neutral,
at least publicly. Now, when they're private capacity, it's different. But when they're, as far as like the sheriff's departments and stuff like that, using that to manipulate the people into voting for their candidate, and they serve both sides. They win either way, right? The unions, the police unions win either way. They still get their pensions and their pay like that. But,
yep.
And this fake hero, this fake hero type thing that just like during COVID, all the heroes were doing what? Who were the heroes during COVID? Who were the heroes? Right.
Right.
The media kept telling over and over and over.
Elon's the face, so who's behind all that anyway? So, he's just the face, so he's not really doing anything. He kind of told you that when he said he sold his house and moved into this little house, right? So he doesn't really have all that. It's whoever's behind him.
Exactly. Like, you think he's really digging tunnels? I mean, come on. We were just talking about how they had all the underground tunnels. They had underground tunnels coming from Mexico to the U.S. and underground all over. And you see that in the Walmart logo as well, the boring head. And then here we got Elon is also into digging tunnels. Like, it doesn't make sense to have all these different passions or things. Like, you would really, if you're a pilot, you stick to just flying a plane, right? And maybe one other hobby. This dude's boring tunnels, building rockets. It doesn't go together. And cars, and then running a Twitter page, and then finding corrupt, fraud in the government. Like, we don't know there's fraud. Come on, man.
And he's responding to you on X.
And
like, he has all that extra time. And going to Mar-a-Lago and all these events.
Yeah, every weekend he's at Mar-a-Lago. They have parties there. I don't know if anybody's gotten tickets or was invited, but they're having these outrageous parties there every weekend while people are struggling to pay bills.
Oh,
so really,
don't make a mistake now. Do not make a mistake. You don't get invited until you buy a ticket.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Right.
No ticket, right. No invite.
See, he's got Occupy Mars on his shirt right here. Dark MAGA. Remember, he did also PayPal. He was the inventor of PayPal and all these things. Him and Peter Thiel. The Dogecoin, all that digital shit. So he has businesses in China as well. Trump just put that out the other day. Yesterday, I think it was in his speech. He goes, and he's got business because people are saying, ain't this a conflict of interest for him to be involved like this and having so many government contracts? What is he? Who is he really looking out for? The people or himself? What's the long-term plan here?
The ones behind him.
So we knew taxes were fraud, right? But to most people, it's taxes and fraud. We can't. What can't this man do, right? So we're making him the savior. What the thing is, what can't you do? I can do all things through Christ that gives me strength.
Right.
Right. So we're giving our power up to something outside of ourselves to fix our issues. He's got a master plan for our lives. Does that sound cool to y'all? You want Elon to have a master plan for your life?
I have a master plan for my own.
Okay, put one in the chat if you voted for Elon. Nobody voted for Elon, okay? So what the hell? It sounds cool, but we're starting to see something else taking place here in the PSYOPs, the shit show 2.0, where nobody's the same height, same nose, same face, same body types. They're all changed over. If you go back and look at the past few years, even decades, you see different people. You can't hide the dental part either, especially their teeth, hair. But so Starlink beams with laser dreams. What do they do with these damn lasers?
Right.
Right.
That's what it looked like we saw last night. It looked like a laser.
Lies, Tesla lies, Tesla lies.
He won't just sit and watch. But anyways, here's another one. I think it's right here.
Drive Starlink beams with laser dreams. He's got a master plan for our life.
He's got a master plan for your life. Yeah, he's going to put Neuralinks in your ass. Mark of the beast. So this is from Vision for the Blind. This is an account on, and he just said, this is just too much. And I agree. It's kind of cringy. And then when you really look at the lyrics, you're like, just wow. All right. So we're going to go into the ad placements here. It's a little 10-minute clip. His opinions are his opinions. They don't necessarily reflect mine or Mike's or my wife's opinions. So everybody has their own way of trying to wake people up, but it can offend people. But sometimes you have to go through that in order to grow. You got to ask yourself, why am I so offended at what he's saying about him or her, or whatever the situation is, right?
Right. That's what you need to work on.
Yeah. Sometimes that truth just smacks you, reality hits you, and you're like, shit, But it's okay. Here we go.
You may be wondering, like I do, what the hell is going on with all the Tesla, Elon Musk, Cybertruck product placement going
Truman
on.
Show.
You got it on the White House lawn right here. You got Fox News talking about it. We're going to get back to this in a second. But I want to show you that it's not something that's just going on in your mind. This is something that's really happening. Matt Baker, if you haven't subscribed to him over there on Twitter, now the X platform, it's Slaves to Liberty, slaves_to_liberty, says average Elon related comments per day on the Alex Jones show. He says, I love Alex, but this is a bit much. And I agree with him. Says Elon Musk, he mentioned Elon Musk 64 times, Tesla 20 times, SpaceX 13, Cybertruck 30, grand total of 127 mentions. And then he breaks it down. That's across 5 shows ranging from 2 to 4 hours each to get a daily average. 127 mentions divided by 5 days is 25.4 mentions per day. So on an average day in mid-January 2025, Jones mentioned one of these Musk-related items about 25 to 26 times, and then he breaks it all down. So it's not a figment of your imagination. You also have Alex Jones getting in on the art of the dealership with the Cybertruck. And before you say, hey, what are you doing promoting Donald Trump on this shirt you got on? Read it closely. I'm not promoting Donald Trump. It's a spoof. Trump Fauci 2024, give us another shot, because he is the father of the VAXX. Listen to Alex Jones here. This is just shameful and pathetic.
So my fate is tied to Musk. His fate is tied to mine. His fate is tied to you. We're all tied to Trump. This is a real revolution, but it takes support. It takes money.
That's not the real revolution. They're trying to sell you a bullshit. Okay, the real revolution will not be televised.
That's right, and it happens naturally.
Money to do it. That's why, as a symbol of this, we went and bought the most awesome Cybertruck. Had it wrapped in 1776.
It's such an awesome Cybertruck, in fact, that there's a YouTube channel. It wasn't just Whistling Diesel, but there's another channel that showed just how pathetic the Cybertrucks actually are. They tried to put a 10,000-pound load on the back of that bumper. It broke the whole undercarriage off, including the bumpers.
It is cracking so much. Oh, dude!
And the whole rear end of your Cybertruck is now gone, safety clips included. The truck is now totaled, getting 28 different error messages just because the bumper ripped off is wild.
So if you're going to go RVing...
Hey, Mike, can you imagine having 28 error messages just because you lost a bumper on your car?
Right? Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine if you got into a wreck in a NASCAR and you had 20, 30, 40, 50 error messages from hitting the wall and then turn 2?
One in the back there, and you hit a bump, you could put everybody on the roadway in mortal jeopardy. But go ahead, take it away, Alex.
The Alex Jones edition, and I'm going to raffle this off for a lucky winner coming up next month at the alexjonesstore.com. Now, will getting this truck and raffling it off save the world? No. But all of us doing, for me, a big thing, for Musk, a small thing, for a lot of you, a big thing, all of this adds up. All these little things and middle-sized things and big things add up, and it's that fight. We're in that intense fight, that battle of inches. And right now, we're way ahead of them. For the first
Standing up for Musk, Tesla is standing up for America.
First time in modern history.
This is Alex Jones, the car dealer. What has happened to
It's
America?
the Truman Show,
what
brother.
has happened to the Alex Jones show?
We are literally in a live action role play.
And that don't even look like Alex Jones.
The 33rd president, Masonic number, right? Is hairy ass Truman. He's got a hairy ass.
What has happened to InfoWars? Did Elon Musk come along and give a massive cash infusion to InfoWars to bail him out? Is Elon Musk a part owner of InfoWars now? Because all we're hearing about is Elon Musk, SpaceX, Cybertruck, Tesla.
Yeah, and keep in mind, one of his reporters just got murdered, right? Was that a shot across the bow?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
When somebody gets taken out, that's like, hey, this can happen to you next.
Like mafia style.
Which we think already happened. I mean, this don't even look like Alex Jones. And it's definitely, he has changed his stances on a lot of things. Normally he'd be calling out what we're calling out, but he's not. So that tells you he's bought and paid for, changed out, actor, all the above.
And he has a neck now. He didn't have one before. Much bigger.
Yeah. And his facial hair changed.
But that's all you got. He's not a globalist. He's working for us. Really, Alex? Elon Musk is not a globalist. Can I just remind you that Elon Musk's idea of how we should operate things on this planet perfectly aligns with Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. They're both for the carbon tax, universal basic income, mRNA clot shots, some people call them, transhumanism through Neuralink. Elon Musk has stated over and over that he wants a one world government. In his talk at the World Economic Forum, by the way,
let me go back and read those for context. That what he said, so you can understand. As Elon, it is high time there was a carbon tax. As a reminder, I'm in favor of universal basic income. To be clear, I do support
the World Economic Forum.
To be clear, I do support vaccines in general and COVID vaccines specifically. The science is unequivocal. Of course, you endorse Neuralink and the brain chips and all that. Also, creating a Neuralase is the thing that really matters for humanity to achieve symbiosis with machines. Over here, Klaus Schwab, WEF, would you let your employer implant a microchip in your hand? These workers have. Y'all see where this is going? How much clearer does it need to be, right, about the mark of the beast? And Christians are falling for this. They said they would be deceived, even in the elect, if it were all possible. So that's where we're at. They're playing it out in your face, and everybody's going along with it. So that's why our stance is kind of stiffened up and changed over the last year or so, and dealing from based on what we're seeing and the direction this is going. 3 tactics to overcome COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy. This is how they're trying to get you: the microchip, vaccine. 4 reasons cities should embrace UBI. Why carbon tax is crucial to curbing climate change. There's your climate change. 4 reasons cities should embrace. Okay, we did that one. As a reminder, so he's in favor of everything. Klaus Schwab right here. He looks like a villain, don't he? Are y'all not watching the movie? Where does he get this outfit at? Is that Target or Walmart? I mean, is it like New York somewhere they're selling these outfits or what? All right. The only time I've seen an outfit like that is like a Star Wars movie or something to that. It's kind of sci-fi, right?
Right. And there's folks in the chat agreeing with you, Sheepdog. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to get. This is really, 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 really important, guys. We got to put aside our idol worship and stuff like that and understand we're being tested right now. This is nothing personal. It's nothing against your favorite characters in the movie. It's just the fact of the matter is people are not seeing this. It's in your face. And that's why I believe this movie has drug out so long, is because they're shocked at how asleep that the people are. However, they haven't removed the Smith-Monk Act, which would immediately, if you had the ABC, NBC, CNN, all them actually reporting the truth and warning people, hey, biblically, this is the mark of the beast that's coming up, folks. Y'all really all for this? But so that's why I played that song with Elon singing her praising him, and it's like, oh my God, it's songs like that and things like that psychologically make people think that this is okay. And maybe it is for some people. Maybe this is what they want. Maybe there are people that do want microchips in their hands. We've all been the test dummies for this, unknowingly and voluntarily, because we tap our phones to pay. What do you think the chip is for? The chip is in your phone. You're just practicing. You're just setting up the system. Keep tapping your phone. Keep tapping your phone. Right?
Yeah, we actually helped build it. Yeah, unknowingly.
Even at the gas pump, you can just swipe your phone, pay for your gas, whatever. And you have all that technology. The only thing missing now is to get chips in everybody's hands. The system's up and ready to go. It's going to be a smooth transition, So that's what this is really all about. But most people want to make this about, oh, you're attacking Trump. No, we're trying to wake your ass up so that you stop the idol worship, so that you stop and look things critically and logically and question things and then biblically look at it and say, man, this is it. They're literally playing out the end times Revelation thing for us. Yeah, because that's what they want, right? There's people overseas in Israel that want this to all take place so they could bring in their Messiah, right? Their second coming. The second coming already happened. See, that's what they want to tell you. So they want to play it out with the third temple and all this other stuff, right? They want the blood of a cow. Anyways, let me keep moving.
Over and over that he wants a one world government. In his talk at the World Economic Forum, by the way, they named him at one time a young global leader for the World Economic Forum. Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk, Trump's daughter, right, Miss Sheepdog?
It's Ivanka's daughter-in-law, or no, what was it? It's
Yeah.
one of. It's related somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also WF, and as well as the psyops lady that Trump just picked, right?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, and so is Ivanka. Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Ivanka, Elon, and Tulsi Gabbard, all WF.
Forum, by the way, they named him at one time a young global leader for the World Economic Forum. Elon Musk discussed how society needs to work together to create some kind of world government. He stated that this would be necessary to address the challenges currently posed by climate change and artificial intelligence. We saw him on Joe Rogan saying that, hey, what we need is a carbon tax, a universal carbon tax that applies to everybody. That, my friend Alex, is globalism. It's globalism. It's the globalism that you've been against for years, and now you're promoting a globalist, pawning him off as a non-globalist. So what happened, Alex? I mean, it's getting so bad that I'm expecting Alex Jones to blast the world with this brand new product launched, Musk Vitality. 10 free bottles with every
Musk Vitality.
And MAGA globalists.
Support your revolution.
I may talk more in a future video about what Alex Jones says right here during this basically Cybertruck raffle. Oh, dude! But for now, let's turn our attention to this Fox News paid product placement for Elon Musk and Tesla, designed to deceptively look like a news story. Stabbed in the heart, Tesla owner speaks out after Cybertruck vandalized.
Joining me now is Roe. Now, for security reasons, he prefers that we not use his last name. His Cybertruck was in for service at a Tesla dealership when it was vandalized. Get this.
I also want to point out the fact that he's wearing the Cybertruck.
Yeah, the same thing that's on the car.
So he gets invited to a Fox News, and that's what he wears is a hoodie, like John Fetterman. Oh, John Fetterman got a silver pager from Netanyahu. Moving on.
Spray painted with swastikas and various curse words.
Advertising Cybertruck there on his hoodie. Nice touch.
Well, thank you for joining us.
There's more to that, though.
So you walk up thinking you're going to get your Tesla after being serviced, and you see this. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I was definitely kind of taken back by the whole situation. We were notified by Tesla. I was supposed to pick it up at 3 p.m. last Monday, and then they notified me at 2:30 p.m. that my car was vandalized overnight, and they're working on getting it cleaned up. I was unaware at the time exactly what was on the car. I messaged them about an hour later. They got back to me that they were working on getting the symbols off the car. I figured it probably wasn't smiley faces. So I said, oh, okay. Then they sent me photos and confirmed that they were Nazi swastikas written on my Cybertruck and 5 others in the lot as well overnight.
And the swastika itself, for you personally, it's horrible for any American, but for you personally, what did it do to you?
It was, for my partner and myself, we are Jewish as well, and it was kind of a stab in the heart because shit. This day and age, and
that didn't even look like a swastika.
Well, it's like your 5-year-old went out there and started spray painting on it, and you had to catch him at the very end of him writing something.
Right.
It's like the person that painted the swastikas don't even know what they look like, right? But anyways, you see an added bonus here. He's Jewish. You ever heard of somebody being called a Christian Tesla owner in history?
Right. Or Hindu or whatever.
Owner, I have a F-150 and I'm a Christian. Nobody does that. So here we go with the added bonus right here, the Jewish Tesla owner, which now makes this what? Anti-Semitic. Oh my God. Oh my God. So the people that don't want to talk about the JFK assassination, instead want to talk about Tesla trucks. Here we go.
2025, you get swastikas written on your vehicle in America, let alone anywhere else in the world. It definitely takes you back a little bit. We didn't necessarily feel personally attacked, being it obviously was done to other Tesla vehicles. So obviously it was probably targeting Elon and his companies, and not necessarily me personally or my partner. But yeah, definitely it was.
And he's gay. No, I don't have a problem with that. You know, he came out, he said it, whatever.
Personally, or my partner, but yeah, definitely it was. You know, it's kind of a wake up call to really, you know, kind of the reality we're living in these days. It's very disheartening.
Everyone watching tonight.
This is an anti-Semitic terrorist attack.
Right. You know, a lot of people who are, you know, climate change folks, or they just like the Teslas, which are incredible vehicles. They thought they were buying a Tesla, and it's cool, right? And then. Yeah, I know you were a liberal. Now you're a Republican after 2016,
which are incredible.
He's a liberal. Now he's a Republican, just for the fact that he's on Fox, right? This is a liberal. Let's see their man. I'm telling you, this is major psyops.
Oh, dude! Not only did it break off, but it rendered the entire vehicle completely useless.
And the whole rear end of your Cybertruck is now gone, safety clips included. The truck is now totaled, getting 28 different error messages just because the bumper ripped off is wild.
Which are incredible vehicles.
They call it cyber trash.
You supported Trump, but I know a lot of liberals in the place where I live, they all drive Teslas. So what about them? How does this feel to them that their compatriots, the rabid ones, are doing this? It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Jewish Tesla owner targeted with swastikas.
So, you know, that's what's always gotten me.
So what are we promoting here? We're promoting Tesla. We're promoting Elon Musk. This is a sales pitch for Cybertruck, and we got the Israel element.
Like, you know, you're here to save the world, and you know, you're working against a guy that's trying to make humanity better and has made humanity better.
Elon Musk, the globalist, is trying to save the world. He's going to make the world a better place after I've told you for 3 decades that you got to beware of globalists. Never trust a globalist.
Through his rockets, through his cars. I mean, we just rescued, you know, went to SpaceX and, you know, just rescued the astronauts. And, you know, I just don't understand. It's just like
they just went to SpaceX and rescued astronauts that were stranded for 9 months, and they only had 8 days worth of groceries. Can somebody explain that? How do you get stranded in space for 9 months? There's no store.
Like, what's wrong with cutting government waste and fraud? Who is against that? Unless you're benefiting from that, Laura.
And there's the false dichotomy. It's you got to be for Doge. You're against government, right? Government waste, over expenditures, fraud, abuse. Well, Doge is completely revealing that. They're exposing the whole thing. They're making the world a better place. Look at all the cockroaches running. Name one cockroach that has been indicted or charged or jailed. Anybody sitting in jail for all those billions of dollars that they've wasted in government welfare programs? Speaking of welfare programs, who's one of the greatest recipients on American soil of government welfare? Oh, that's right. It's the welfare queen, robber baron, Elon Musk, that they're promoting right here, right now.
The thing, it's like Teslas are great cars. They drive you everywhere you need to go. They are an amazing piece of technology, and I don't understand, you know, how the left has really just turned around in the last, you know, 6 months.
It's the left. It's just the left. So you're for government or you're for Doge. You got to be for one or the other. What if I'm against the government and I'm against Doge? What if I see Doge as using the exposing government waste, fraud, and abuse thing as implementing AI technocratic systems that are going to control the rest of us worse than we're already being controlled? So they always lay down this simpleton left versus right paradigm. You got to take A or B. There's no other option. C. You can't opt out of this thing. Make one of two choices, a false choice. Take the poop soup or the turd sandwich, but you got to choose one of them. No, you don't. What if you're just as much against the government as you are against Elon Musk and Doge? What if you see them as kind of working hand in glove with each other?
So option A and B is left or right, and then C is center. There is 3 options.
Definitely the last few weeks of being against finding government corruption and waste in the federal government, and then you just really got to follow the money. You know, where's this coming from? You know.
Now, would you buy another Tesla?
I have one already on order. I already have another Cybertruck on order. Yeah, absolutely.
Look at Laura; she loves it. This is so good. This is the best product placement we've ever had on Fox News, and the people are none the wiser. They don't even know it's a product placement. This is so great. We're so deceptive and sneaky. This guy's happy right here, and this guy's happy. Both of these dudes are happy.
All right. A friend of
Oh my
mine,
gosh.
Anna, has a Cybertruck.
I got an anecdote for you.
Kickstand.
Here's an anecdote, says Laura.
She loves this vehicle. I think she loves it as much as her grandkids.
Are you sure she's a she, Laura? Huh?
She just raves about this.
Look
Oh
at
my gosh.
the best part. You've got Alex Jones sold out to Elon Musk. You've got Donald Trump sold out to Elon Musk. You've got Fox News sold out to Elon Musk. What is going on here? You've got these paid product placements everywhere for Eric Prince's phone, for Elon Musk, for Cybertruck, for SpaceX. You're hearing about it all the time, and it's becoming more and more popular. What the frick is going on here? We've had this radical shift of people on the right saying, man, watch out for the globalists. You can never trust the globalists. They're trying to take over. They're trying to institute the B666 system. And now here they are championing, sticking up on a pedestal, bowing down to worship a friend of Peter Thiel from Palantir Technologies. What the hell is going on? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification.
Oh, that's the disturbing illusion.
That's it.
Where is it at? Okay. So now we're going back to the product placement. Got right here. This one covers. Oh, here we go. Just trying to wake you up, folks. I know it's hard as shit. It's easier to fool somebody than it is to convince them that they've been fooled.
This imaginary game we're all playing where we pretend to be someone we're not at work so we can get money that we pretend is valuable, so we can pay for our house that we pretend to own, and we can watch people pretend to be something else on social media, and we listen to a government that's pretending that they care about us, and we're going to a store to buy food that they're pretending is healthy. What the fuck? This imaginary game we're all playing.
Let's talk about the Truman Show, right?
Yeah.
It's all fake.
And that sent you that, if you could read that, algocracy versus technocracy.
All right. So real quick before we go there, we'll go stay on this topic with Elon real quick because this is the last article. So 7 years ago, Elon Musk announced that he would turn the tunnel dirt into bricks for low-cost housing. Another one of his ideas that fizzled out, question mark, right? This was March 24, 2025. This is today, this morning. So can you imagine they're drilling tunnels, right? Forget Elon. This is somebody else. They're going to take the dirt after they're done drilling holes all under us, and they're going to build our houses with that. How nice of them, right?
Right. That's so not where we need to go.
Yeah. So back in 2018, Elon Musk had a bold idea. He wanted to take the dirt dug up by the boring company, while creating tunnels and turn it into interlocking bricks that could be used to build sculptures, structures, and even affordable homes. All right, here's the tweet, which is all public record, right? Like I told y'all, social media is public record. So if you want the public to know and you want to make a timestamp and date here, this is how you do it. It's just like a newspaper. It holds weight. New Boring Company merch coming soon. Life-size Lego-like interlocking bricks made from tunneling rock that you can use to create sculptures and buildings. Rated for California. Seismic loads. So super strong, but bored in the middle. Like an aircraft wing spar. So not heavy. On March 26, 2018, Musk tweeted, New Boring Company merch coming soon. Okay, I just read that. He added that they would be rated. Okay, read that. And a day later, he joked, and they said I'd never be a rock star. Musk kept the momentum going. In May 2018, he confirmed that the company would use these bricks for low-cost housing. When asked On Twitter, if you wanted to get into the affordable housing industry, Musk replied that the Boring Company was up for the task. Yeah, because they got to get rid of all the dirt, right? What better way to hide where you're drilling if you immediately remove the dirt off site to someone else and sell it to someone else that's going to turn around and make the bricks for the homes and right?
Yep.
He claimed that the bricks were so easy to work with that two people could build the outer walls of a small house in a day or so. Now, I'm not against people wanting to help people build cheaper houses and stuff like that, but there's more to that than this. People aren't really questioning what are the tunnels for. Why is your name attached to the Boring Company, and rockets, and Teslas, and social media, digital tokens, PayPal?
Like Ames, that's out through all the history books, made bricks too, right?
And what are the odds of you having 10 or even 5 successful businesses as a small business owner? You know,
major successful businesses. That's
like hitting 777s at the casino. It's unheard of to have that many successful businesses operating like on the level that is. It's almost like the military is doing it. Wank, wank. According to the media reports, the idea even made its way into the Boring Company FAQ section at the time, which stated that the company was, quote unquote, investigating technologies that will recycle the earth into useful bricks to be used to build structures. Then on September 13, 2018, Musk tweeted first boring brick store opening in 2 months. Only 10 cents a brick, rated for California seismic loads. This added to the growing hype around the project at the time. So basically, he said they were going to be sold for 10 cents or whatever, and then it hasn't happened. Okay. But I'm sure they're still drilling. Right. Let me go. All right, where's it at? The chat box?
No, go up a little bit more where it says technocracy. Up.
Oligarchy versus technocracy, is that one?
Yeah.
This one? That's it? Sheepdog?
Yes.
Okay. Oligarchy versus technocracy, what's the difference? Is that how you oligarchy? Yeah. Like algorithm, algo?
Yes, algorithm.
Okay. So oligarchy and technocracy are both forms of governance that rely heavily on technology and data-driven decision-making. However, the key difference between the two lies in the source of authority. And oligarchy algorithms on artificial intelligence systems are used to make decisions and govern society. Can you imagine that? We're being governed by AI. What if we've been governed by AI this whole time?
Right.
What if AI never went anywhere, right? That's what we're trying to tell you. There's actors playing the parts of these people, and everyone's following the people, and they're really just an audience. If you look at the Truman Show, they're the audience watching Truman, and they're putting their own dreams and hopes and wishes on hold while they watch someone else chase their dreams.
Yes.
So that's what the Who Shot JR comes into play, right? Everybody was super hyper focused, right, on that. Who shot JR? His wife. It's right there, right? Was it his wife that shot him, or was it somebody else?
Sue Ellen.
Oh, Sue Ellen. So on the other hand, technocracy is a system where experts, professionals in various fields are in charge of making decisions based on their knowledge and expertise. While both systems aim to optimize efficiency and effectiveness, oligarchy may raise concerns about accountability and transparency due to the reliance on automated systems. Technocracy, on the other hand, may face criticism for potentially excluding diverse perspectives and voices and decision-making processes. That's what I said. Did they ask any of us that we wanted Elon to be in charge of our lives, being the master of our lives?
They haven't asked us anything.
When you put someone else
do
in
it.
front of God, between you and God, that's Antichrist, right?
That's right.
Should be the master of your own vessel, not someone else. And all of our voices matter. And if your vote is your voice, you didn't vote for him. See how that works? You can literally go vote with duct tape on your mouth. So, I mean, your voice is what matters, and that's what we've been trying to push, is the power is inherent in the people, not in the, they can use what they want, but if we get off of their shit and don't use it, and we communicate like we used to, human to human, then we win. But if we get sucked into this and we allow our children, because they're already primed up and ready to go with the video games and stuff like that, with the technology and stuff, they're going to have your kids in some kind of idiocracy type movie where they're having robots and all they got to do is push a button and get something, food out of a machine, that kind of shit. Like they won't know how to grow anything, nothing.
This is what they're. Oh, sorry.
Good. This is what
I was just going to say. This is what they're debating. They're debating between these two.
Yeah. So you can keep your head in the sand all you want, and maybe this is right up your alley, because for some people they're not creative, so they need somebody to be creative for them. But if they take us away from our creativity, they might as well cut the line between God and us directly, because we're here to not to be served, but to be of service
and create. Yep.
So if you're waiting to be served, then AI is going to be right there to serve you. If you're here to serve, then you're going to be doing the will of the Father, right? And the mother. Honor your mother and father, which is left, right, red, blue, male, female energies combined, centered. You get the enlightenment. But as long as you keep that divided, you'll forever be easily controlled. All right. What else? Does that make it on that?
There's a couple more under that.
So you really want to get in front of your kids. You really want to show them what seeds do, how plants grow, stuff like that, nature, animals. Just being grateful for the sunshine and the good times and the bad times, through all seasons. And to know that when there's a storm, that the sun always comes out afterwards, right? And the birds sing. So we all are going to have our ups and downs. A lot of people speak spirituality, but they don't really want to talk about the bad shit you got to go through as well. Right? You can't always look at the good stuff and unicorns and rainbows. You got to look at the other shit as well. And that's what we're doing here. So attribute, comparison, definition, algorithm is ruled by algorithms and automated systems. This is how they silence our voices be online. You think that you have free speech, but you don't have free reach. You're posting stuff, nobody's seeing it. You're not even getting no harm. It's like I don't really look at that. I just post and go. But some people do, and there's noticing that their voices are being silenced, because if they weren't being silenced these last 4 years, we wouldn't be in this situation we're in right now. Everybody would have woke the hell up, right? For the most part. But so it's a slow process, and some people, not everybody's going to make it. What percentage? They're going to make it, but they're going to go into their dystopia based on what they want, right? Because there's people that want the vaccine, there's some people that didn't want the vaccine. So there's some people that want this AI thing and robots to take over, and there's others that want to hold on to what our ancestors passed down from generation to generation, which is farming, loving thy neighbor, taking care of each other, showing up when the storms, after the storm passes, hurricanes, tornadoes, and we help each other, even regardless of who we voted for or what are things that divided us. Neighbors bringing neighbors together. And it sucks that it always has to be during a crisis, but that's usually when we come together. that or a football game, baseball game, basketball games, NASCAR, different events like that. We can come together and sit 100,000 in a stadium and nobody has an issue. How does that happen? But when we get outside of these stadiums and control mechanisms, we're all of a sudden divided. It makes no sense. And I believe it's all, they're lying to us and telling us we're divided, but I believe in my heart that we're all really united. We just have to overcome the deception that's taking place in how the, Fox, CNN, those are all arms of the military, folks. That's how they get you to do what they want you to do. And based on U.S. interest, right? Is that what we showed on the PSYOP lady? She said that they influence their influencers, digital soldiers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what really is the digital soldiers. You want to know who they are. They're really soldiers, army, PSYOPs.
PSYOPs, yes.
And they get you to buy things, just like Truman Show when she does the ad for. So decisions are made based on algorithms and data analysis. Go ahead, Miss Doug, read the rest.
Decisions are made based on algorithms and data analysis, or decisions are made by experts in their respective fields. Accountability on oligarchy, difficult to hold algorithms accountable for their decisions, or experts can be held accountable for their decisions. Flexibility, less flexible and adapting to changing circumstances is the algorithm, or technocracy can adapt more easily to new challenges. And then accountability, another important aspect to consider when comparing allocracy is technocracy is accountability. In I can't say that word. Allocracy, it can be challenging to hold algorithms accountable for their decisions. If an algorithm makes a mistake or produces a biased outcome, it may be difficult to identify the root cause and assign responsibility. This lack of accountability can lead to distrust in the system. In contrast, technocracy allows for more direct accountability, as decisions are made by human experts who can be held responsible for the actions. And then it goes into the next one is, could AI replace politicians? They already tried that. Yeah, you want to read that one? The one after the little...
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right here. You see it?
Yeah, after that one. After that one, there's a...
Oh, so not this one?
No, that's just the article, but yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. I got you. But yeah, so why are they wanting to allow? I think this is D-class. I think they're showing us, just like we're seeing all these people like Mitch McConnell, like freeze up. I think they already have a chip, or they're already a part of it. They've been using these people. That's why they die in office, because they don't want no new eyes and new faces like me and you coming in there and seeing the shit, and then going back and telling somebody, and then they got to kill. They got to Arkansas us and shit,
But this says chatbots running for office. Prior to ChatGPT's explosive arrival in 2022, efforts to replace politicians with chatbots were already well underway in several countries. As far back as 2017, a chatbot named Alyssa challenged Vladimir Putin for the Russian presidency, while chatbot named Sam ran for office in New Zealand. Newmark and Japan have also experimented with chatbot-led politician initiatives. These efforts, while experimental, reflected a long-standing curiosity about AI's role in governance across the diverse cultural context. The appeal of replacing flesh and blood politicians with chatbots is on some levels quite clear. Chatbots lack many of the problems and limitations typically associated with the human politics. They are not easily tempted by desires of money. That's why they have been experimenting with them.
So they've been telling us about all this fraud, right? They're telling us about all this stuff, and then they're going to bring in the AI politicians. Why can't they just bring in good, honest people?
Right. They have a problem, then they'll have a solution, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it looks like they're trying to replace them with AI. And that's
See,
what they want to do with the police, too.
So they collected billions of dollars over the years in donations from foreign countries, and now only to put us in a situation where AI is now the answer.
Yes. So that's like they said, they've invested so much in the infrastructure already that it's going to be like our decisions, what we make, and how much we let them take control over it, right? Some of these things could be used for good, right? That could advance us, but it needs to be controlled by us, the people, and we make the decisions or vote on it or however we want to do it, but it needs to be in our hands, not theirs.
Or we're going to end up like the Terminator.
Yes, which has happened before. Tartaria is one of the examples, right, where they got a little too controlled by AI.
Which Trump had a Terminator bobblehead in his cockpit of his plane at one time.
Right, and Elon looks like one when he puts his sunglasses on, like he's the Terminator. Yeah.
It's like the Terminator, no shit. Go ahead. Oh, okay, you done with this?
Yeah, that was just to kind of give you an overview of what they're planning, what they had planned, and what they're debating on. Is that we're going to be controlled by just an algorithm or the technocracy oligarchs that make the decisions, which they could be held accountable, but we see how that's going with anybody getting held accountable anyway, right? So that is something we really have to think about.
I believe AI was used during COVID to get people to go get vaccinated. I think you've seen a lot of CGI politicians in Hollywood and actors and ball players, et cetera. And I believe a lot of that was CGI. AI was used to bring on the scamdemic. Who do you lock up if AI did it, right? How can you put AI in?
You can't. There's nobody to be accountable for. But no, not that one. Go up a couple more first and then play a little of that one.
What? This one?
No, that one. I was just going to go over there. Yeah, as far as the med beds. Yeah, there was a.
We'll just play the video.
Okay, well, I was just going to say it real quick. In 2015, as it's called DevCon, was in 2015. They already had a med bed demo, which uses light, frequency, and sound. That's what a med bed is. And then that one video that you were fixing to play, he kind of goes into depth in describing what actually a med bed is.
Yeah, this was in 2015.
Yeah, that was back in 2015. That was like a demo. That was when they were first trying to show it. But the other guy, that last video you had up, he explains it really well.
From the partner with Renaissance, located in Tustin, California. What we have here today is a setup to showcase our design capability, both from the industrial, the mechanical, the electronics, and the firmware software.
Again, so when they have another World's Fair or something like that, I believe that's when there were some or conventions, you'll probably see this over the years more. The medical field will go towards.
And they already have smart hospital beds now that's coming out this year that monitors them all from the bed instead of all those little gadgets. So yeah, it's just going to be an upgrade and all that stuff.
So if they're 50 to 70 years ahead of us, then this is like an Atari that we're playing, that we're seeing now. But to us, it looks brand new. It's like, trying to make the screen a little bigger. Hold on 1 second. Oh. So take care of your body and stuff like that. Don't wait on technology. Take care of yourself first. Don't hold off on anything.
That's right.
where using the Renaissance technology, particularly today we're showcasing Synergy. This is a futuristic concept medical bed incorporating many elements. We have an example of a patient on the bed.
Again, he said futuristic concept.
With some automation that can go through and do some diagnosis. With that, we have a variety of wireless sensor in the health space that uses wireless EKG, where we can collect data and stream it to a smart device like Android or iOS. Along with that, we have a customer application, which is this product from Becker Smith. Becker Smith Flow Save is in the spinal fluid drain device market. The spinal fluid drain device covers patients who have some brain trauma, in which if there is a drain required to relieve pressure in the head, that's what this device does with an IV connection. So with that, under the hood, it encompasses many of the Renaissance technology, beginning with the RZ, which is a higher power processor, a release product. We're working here with a beta product from the S7 family. The S7 family is what's showcased with Synergy in its pre-release platform, ranging from an S7, which is running an HMI, with Bluetooth connectivity to an Android platform. And with that, we are capturing ECG wirelessly. We're streaming it live over the Android platform. We also have S3 for the I/O, where there's not an LCD panel, but the electronics that makes the robotics and the inner working of the futuristic bed. And here we show more example of the HMI element, the circuit board behind it. Underneath, we have a number of circuit boards under the bed that is maybe a little bit harder to see, but this bed is composed of probably 10 different Renaissance chips creating this demo today. The heartbeat is actually going over several Bluetooth channels from a source, relay a stereo, which is not trivial. And from that, we pick it up, we convert it to a heartbeat and drive the bed as well as other data recorders.
So this is more for a doctor's visit, get vitals, stuff like that.
Yes. And then that last video that you were almost showed just a minute ago, that he describes it pretty well about the light frequency, sound, and the use of crystals that actually heal. That's what the med beds are.
Okay. You want to play a little bit of that, or? Just start at the beginning. I'll just play about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's good.
Stir it up. Okay. Again, do your own research. This is Boomers Forever Young.
We usually do this every Tuesday and Thursday. It's your new favorite live podcast, Live Forever Young Radio. We talk about health, wellness, and some really cool stuff today. We've decided to talk about med beds. What are they? Are they real? Do they exist? How do we get one? If we can't get one, what are some things we can do that'll give us similar results that'll help us be healthier than we've ever been? What do you think?
Yeah, so if you look up med beds on the internet,
yep.
you're going to see a mixed bag of things.
Yes.
So there's actually a company that has the website medbeds.com. And you can go and look at that, read all about what they have. It's a remote thing. It's not, it's a remote frequency type of deal where you're not actually lying in a bed.
Yeah, that sounds like that you'd expect a bed.
Yeah. Now, so med beds have been rumored for a long time that there's these miraculous new technologies that are going to be released where everybody's going to be able to go into a med bed and they're going to de-age, they're going to heal, and that's all well and good. It's very possible that that's going to be the case, but so far, no one has really opened up a med bed clinic where people can go and have all that happen.
Sounds like the movie Cocoon.
Yes, and if you go to Wikipedia, they have nothing on there except a short paragraph about how the whole thing is a conspiracy theory and there's absolutely nothing true about it.
Right. Okay.
So
when they call it a conspiracy theory, you know what that means.
But what we do, and what they say that med beds will utilize in order to perform these miracles is crystals, okay, which we already know have a profound effect on health, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. They also are producing electrical pulses, square wave electrical pulses. We already know square wave electrical pulses do exist, and they help dramatically with mental health issues. Thus the Fisher-Wallace stimulator.
I didn't know if you wanted me to say it, but
that's a square wave. That's a square wave electrical stimulator that does treat medical conditions.
FDA approved,
and it's an FDA approved medical device. So we know it works. And so these are some of the aspects of it. Now, the other thing that they talk about, which is more amorphous, is it's going to use quantum technology and AI. When they talk about AI, they're referring to using AI that will develop its own algorithms based on protocols that will be used both for diagnostics and for treatment. So the basic theory is that every cell in your body, which is like 100 trillion cells, has an electrical emission or an electrical frequency that it ideally is vibrating at when it's healthy.
Okay.
And as if the vibration goes down, the cell gets less and less healthy, and including can become cancerous.
Right.
So there's already also been technology that can measure that. So if you have a sore arm, say your arm is sore right here, there's a technology that you can buy without a doctor's order, and you can run that piece of technology, and it has a digital readout, and it'll tell you the frequency of the cells. And when you get to that spot where your arm is sore, you'll see that the frequency is low. Okay. You then dial a frequency emission protocol up on the device and hold it over that site,
and it makes them,
and it raises the frequency, and the pain goes away. Okay.
So these are what you're talking about is all the technologies that we are starting to learn about and kind of know about that could eventually be employed in a said med bed.
Right.
This is what we're going on.
And so, but now what they're saying is with AI, they're going to be able to do a full body scan.
Okay.
Measure the frequency of all of your cells.
That's a lot.
Find out which ones need to be adapted, and then the AI algorithm will generate a treatment protocol for that individual lying in the bed.
Interesting.
Run that emission frequency and create healing.
That's very interesting.
Okay, so in theory, it does work. Now they're also talking about quantum technology, which is a little more amorphous. We do know that there are new quantum computers that are functioning using qubits instead of bits and bytes.
Right.
And that this is a very new type of technology that has tremendous capability both for speed, but also qubits have unique properties where at some point they are particle, at some point a wave, at some point they disappear.
Amorphous.
They're blinking off and on.
They can change.
And they eventually think that they're going to be able to figure out where they are when they blinked off, because they know they're still in existence. Probably from quantum physics and the science of wormholes, they're going to discover that these qubits are actually on the other side of the wormholes temporarily and back in this dimension temporarily. And the people that have that theory are basically saying we might be able to bring information from a different dimension into the computer room via these quantum bits. So that's part of what's going on with the science of these potential med beds. Now, people say, yeah, a lot of them have already been made. We're just waiting. They're going to roll them out, and that's possible. But for the moment, you can't make an appointment and go lie in a med bed. Okay?
Yeah. So again, what this is the technologies that could technically be employed in a med bed type situation.
Yeah.
As far as we know, there isn't anybody putting them out for order. Right? There's nobody that's actually distributing a med bed, but there might be some technologies that we've recently discovered that probably need to be refined that could possibly be used in an application such as a med bed.
Right. And some of these technologies are already available in single-use devices.
Right.
And some of them actually have a combination. Certain companies make, for example, there's a company that makes a device that puts out pulsed electromagnetic forces.
Yes.
And they also have light technology as attachments.
Yes.
And so we've known since 1978 that there are certain pulses of PEMF that will heal broken bones. And it was actually approved by the FDA in 1978 to use PEMF to heal broken bones. Right? And since then, it's advanced tremendously. And one of the main benefits is circulation.
Right.
So one of the reasons, the whole idea behind med beds is to help keep you young and healthy.
Right.
So we know there are certain things that happen as you age that lead to decline.
Right.
And we also, for almost every one of them, we already have devices that can help with that.
Right.
Now, so the huge one is circulation.
Right. These individual devices, I was going to say, so med beds can't get them. But these individual devices that we know about, you can actually use in combination as tools to keep yourself feeling healthy and young. Yeah. And we talked about it on our last show about happiness. Health is one of the keys to staying happy and living a long life. Right. So with some of these technologies, let's go over. So
the PEMF technology is very straightforward. We know that in order to have good circulation, you need certain things in place.
Correct.
So, and circulation is huge for human beings. We're very big mammals. We have long arms, long legs. Our heart is below our brain.
Right.
And so we have to circulate blood to all of our body. And in order to do that, you don't only have to have a strong heart, but you have to have capillaries that are still opening and closing on their own, right? Because the heart can't pump blood through such tiny capillaries.
Right.
It pumps it through the large arteries, and then when it lands at the capillary beds where the blood and the nutrients and the oxygen the nutrients and oxygen in the blood are transferred into the cell. And that's what makes a cell stay healthy, is good nutrition and oxygen and an exchange of toxins that are generated in the cell that are allowed to get out and then move back out through circulation with your blood and your lymph. Right. But as we age, we have less and less good circulation.
Right.
And when that occurs, then our bodies be malnourished and deoxygenated.
Because you don't have the circulation.
Right. So one of the things, really, that circulation is dependent on is electromagnetic pulses that are coming from the core of the earth.
Right.
And the core of the earth is molten, and it's in a chamber, and it's circulating. And in addition, the world itself is circulating. Okay, and it creates the motion, and because it's molten, it's creating these pulses of electromagnetism. Right, and it's coming up out of the earth, and it's hitting our bodies. Our bodies are absorbing these photons, and they are hitting on receptors on the endothelium, which is then expanding and causing your capillaries to dilate. Right. But those photoreceptors become less and less sensitive as we age, and so our capillaries don't expand as widely. Right. But now they have this mat you can lie on for 8 minutes a day, twice a day, and it'll increase your circulation back up to the amount you lost. Right. So it's about a 30% increase in your circulation. And so now an older person can have the same circulation as somebody that has healthy photoreceptors. And then what occurs is all those great nutrients and the oxygen now can be delivered to all your cells, including your nerve cells, which have to fire properly to contract your muscles, which also helps with circulation.
Right. And that's one thing that when we talk about the PEMF mat that we have, the technology there is one of the things that we could be using in the med beds. But what it actually does is it mimics that pulse from that molten core you were talking about.
Right. It mimics that for your circulation. Right. But they also have different programs within the projecting device for healing bones, healing soft tissue, et cetera, et cetera. You can also switch out the attachments and it'll produce light.
Yes, and we actually have Ann Harrison, who works with us, who has a lot of information on that. We also have, if you go to boomerboost.com, towards the bottom, there's a form you could fill out that we can reach out to you with some more information about this particular device. It's one that we've had a lot of people have really good success with. And so if you're interested in that, you can call the 800 number, which is up on the screen. You can ask for it.
So we don't not promoting the sales of anybody or any product or endorsing anything. I'm just presenting the information. I totally I depend on what God has provided through the earth for my healing, and the love frequency is what it's all about, right? Being in that vibration of love is what heals as well.
So basically, he was saying there's different things you can use, different beds or like frequency, light, different things to help you get healthier. But it's not something that you can just go in, maybe in the future, but it's not something that you can go in and just, you're going to get fixed and that's it. But there was another video. It was kind of, I didn't play it because it was kind of, the guy was kind of making fun of people that talked about the med beds. But basically, he did bring up some good points that during COVID, everything that was going on with that, people weren't trusting their doctors, and they had heard about these med beds, and he was reading the letters that people sent to Trump because they thought Trump had the med beds, begging Trump to release them, and people were dying. They weren't going to get medical help because they thought they could wait for these med beds, and that's very dangerous. Instead of making, considering alternative health protocols, eating healthier, exercising, dieting, or they were putting off life-saving surgeries or something like that because they were banking on this because the way it was sold, and people were desperate at the time, and a lot of people were promoting things that were just not actually true. So that can become very dangerous as well. But there are things that are out there now, but and maybe in the future it'll be something a lot more advanced. As they roll it out, it's probably going to be rolled out like they all do everything. Roll it out until we get, in stages, right? That's what I think.
Yeah, very good points there. But like they said, when they did the Wikipedia search, they said it was conspiracy theory. That's the CIA talking point. Try to, but again, I promote the natural healing. I promote self-healing, just like Jesus did. He said, "You can do greater things than I." I believe that.
Yes.
Some people think that they can't do greater things, and that's sad because you were told that you could. Okay, TikTok. I guess we'll play these couple of clips, and then that should be it. Takes TikTok a minute to get moving. So here's JC, Truman Show, the Jesus Christ type Masonic. If you pay attention, like Jim Caviezel, these people all do the JC.
Yep, 33.
Yeah, pay attention to that. Hold on. Still got to load, looks like. This is holding it up. I know it's not playing any sound. Give me a second. I got to get the buttons. All right. This is taking forever. Please try again later. All right, here we go. It's just taking a minute to load, so we'll just do that another time. It's not that big of a deal. Let's see about this one. We talk a lot about 88, which is gold and silver, right? Sun and the moon. When you're looking at male, female, it's all duality, right? So what I found crazy was last night I came across some information, and August 8th, right?
That would be 88. Right, 888.
Yeah. So August 8th, I left a note here for myself. I want to share with you real quick while that's loading. Here's the rule by algorithm, Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
on
what
August
they're doing right now.
So on 88, August 8th, 1786, guess what happened? The United States Congress established the U.S. monetary system. Imagine that. You see how they know?
Yes.
The times, the dates, the numbers, the monetary system being set up in 1786 on 8/8, Lionsgate. Still waiting for that to load, it seems like. Yeah, let's go ahead. Is Mike still with us? Oh, I've already looked at that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we're right at about 2 hours right now. Wilson?
Woodrow Wilson, the very last.
The very last one. Oh, right here. Okay, so this is a 1912 election. All right, you're reading that.
Yep.
Which brings me to, in 1911, most of the soldiers didn't die from war. They died from, during World War One, they died from the vaccines, just like the Civil War. They died from being sick. So in the 1912 election, Wilson defeated incumbent Republican William Howard Taft and the third party. Is this Wilson? Theodore Roosevelt becoming the first Southern.
Woodrow Wilson. Yeah.
Wilson becoming the first Southerner to win the presidency of the 1848 election. During his first year as president, Wilson authorized the widespread imposition of segregation inside the federal bureaucracy, and his opposition to women's suffrage drew protest. His first term was largely devoted to pursuing passage of his progressive New Freedom domestic agenda. His first major priority was the Revenue Act of 1913, which began the modern income tax, and the Federal Reserve Act, which created the Federal Reserve System. At the outbreak of World War I in 1914, the U.S. declared neutrality as Wilson tried to negotiate peace between the Allied and Central Powers. Wilson was narrowly reelected in the 1916 election, defeating Republican nominee Charles Evans Hughes in April 1917. So now keep in mind, in 1917 was the Spanish flu. So they were going through a pandemic just the same, mirrored in almost the same time, 100 years later. Yep. 2017, 2018, 2019, Trump. This is 1917 Spanish flu. A lot of people died because they wore the mask, which caused bacterial pneumonia. Wilson asked Congress for a declaration of war against Germany in response to its policy of unrestricted submarine warfare that sank American merchant ships. Wilson concentrated on diplomacy, issuing the 14 points that the Allies and Germany accepted as a basis for post-war peace. He wanted the off-year elections of 1918 to be a referendum endorsing his policies, but instead the Republicans took control of Congress. After the Allied victory in November of 1918, Wilson attended the Paris Summit. That's it. Oh, one more thing. I'm seeing two different types of Republicans and Republican sides. There's some that are for Trump Republicans, and you got to keep in mind there's Republicans that don't like Trump. And J.D. Vance is their guy. They're already pushing him to be 2028, right? So I want people to be made aware of that, especially MAGA. That there's people inside the Republican Party that aren't MAGA. You need to understand that. And J.D. Vance he called Trump all kinds of names in the past.
Yep. Even Tucker Carlson called that out on him, right?
Called him a Nazi, all kinds of stuff.
Called him
artist. You remember he was a never Trumper. See, but somehow we got psyoped into thinking he was for Trump because all of a sudden he just started kissing the ring, right? So everybody thought. So what I'm seeing is there's a fake MAGA portraying to be MAGA, but they're not. Republicans that are already looking past Trump. They're already looking to the 2028 J.D. Vance to be their president, and they're talking about him running against AOC. I mean, that's where we're headed, folks. As far as the right side accounts on X, pushing that. So I just want people to be made aware that not all Republicans have your best interest at heart. Not all Democrats either. Right, so. Just because you got an R next to your name doesn't mean shit, or a D. That's all I got for now.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Mike.
You there, Mike?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Heaven and hell are both states of mind. When a person is in a very doubtful and negative state of mind, he's always going to catch hell. But when the individual finds the heaven, the harmony, the God, the good, the love that is resident in his own being, then he begins to experience heaven. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. In other words, you change your conditions by changing your self-image. If you see yourself as a person who is in a vale of tears and under conditions and circumstances, that's the way you will be until you change your mind. Also, one of the techniques that I teach is called visualization. It teaches the person to see himself being, doing, and having the good which he desires. And the Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish. And it simply means that if you cannot see yourself in a better condition, you will die in the terrible condition that you're in.
So true.
Well, we're going to end it. Appreciate Mike coming on tonight with us. He's recovered. Thank you for the prayers for everybody out there, for Tasha, and everybody going through some things right now. You're kind of at a fork in the road where you maybe not see an ending, or you're seeing this, but it's over as soon as you wake up and realize it's over. You control your destiny. Don't let AI or anybody else control it, or a politician or any political party or anything like that. Love your neighbor like yourself. Have respect and share with each other, and that's it, man.
Yes.
We don't have to totally agree on everything, but we come together for our children, right?
That's right. For the next generation.
All right, we're out. Huh? No? Okay. I don't want to play that again. That's kind of cringy. You're right.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's like, no.
Let's see what we got here. I got to be careful because I get